Alright, so basically, we're talking about this big war that is about to start in the whole world. Why do I say that a war is about to start? Because Mars right now is in Aries and it's gonna retrograde in a few months, I think like in September or something, and it's gonna get out of retrograde. But Mars is gonna be inside of Aries for 6 months. Usually Mars is inside of a area or constellation for 2 months. But what you're doing a retrograde 2 months back and 2 months forward when it stopped retrograde, that will make it 4 months. Now if you realize every time Mars or Venus goes into a retrograde, war always starts. So the last time we seen Venus go into retrograde was the whole Black Lives Movement. So the whole Black Lives Matter movement was Venus retrograde. So Venus is love and things that you care about and things like that. So when they say Black Lives Matter, they're talking about Venus because Venus like things that matter. Venus is very materialistic and things like that. But Mars is confront people. It's confrontation. You feel me? So it's very aggressive. So the things that we're about to see, and it's all about getting in your face energy, or somebody says the wrong thing, or they offended you. Alright, so I'm gonna get a little bit off topic and talk about the dog days of the summer that I say is usually from July 2nd, 3rd-ish until August the 1st, where you see Sirius every morning before rising, before the sun rises, and then you see it at dawn when the sun goes down. Alright, we can see the two dogs fight. DMX, Snoop Dogg, the blue dog versus the red dog. You know, Sirius is red and blue, colors blinking up there. Both of them is dogs. One is, alright, so the dog days of summer, I say from July to August the 1st. It starts inside. Yeah, so the dog days of the summer, it begins inside of the middle of Cancer and it ends inside of the middle of Leo. So it's the dog star, they both dogs. One of the dogs' name is Snoop Lion, who, you know, the lion is the symbol of Leo. And then the last day, or the day before the last day, July 31st, big tropical storms are everywhere. Tropical Isaiah. It flooded the Bahamas where I'm at. And what's so interesting is like August the 1st and all that, we had the full Aquarius moon. If you know, Aquarius is the guy who is pouring out water into the earth. So opening up the floodgates is a full Aquarius. So you know the dog days of the summer, as I said in certain posts on Facebook and all over, that it was like a warning to get on your shit because famine, floods, and all type of things was gonna happen. So they always knew that the flood was gonna happen places in the world, all the way from Egypt days, because as soon as Leo season start, whatever season it is, it's the opposite. It's gonna be the full moon. So Leo is opposite from Aquarius, so they already know to be aware of floods and stuff like that. So what the smart Egyptians started doing was building gates and bridges that could hold water, you feel me, and that could block certain water from getting to certain areas. So they started doing and captivating things where they could capture the water and use it to their advantage before the famine seasons and all that for. So I was telling people this whole year that we really don't have to worry about hurricanes starting early, because you know when Uranus retrograde, that's when everything go down. So Uranus, if you know what Uranus stands for, it's destruction. Yeah, like I was telling people, we really don't have to worry about hurricanes until Uranus goes retrograde. But seeing that on the last day of the dog days of the summer, the tropical Isaiah come, it was like mainly like a bad omen because it flooded a lot of places in the Bahamas, and it flooded places that usually don't flood on certain islands too. You know, certain islands do flood, but the way that it was, you just know it wasn't right. And it was the last days of the dog days of the summer. It hit on July 31st, and then in certain pieces, then in other pieces, August the 1st, which is the last day of the dog days of the summer. But back to Mars and his war. Mars is going to be squaring Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. That's in Capricorn. America is a Cancer. Bahamas is also a Cancer, just like America. And we know Cancer square Libras and Aries, and its opposite is Capricorn. So Mars is going to be directly hitting these two places. Then we still have these places in opposition. They all in opposition to Saturn with its government, Pluto, which is transformation, power, like somebody taking advantage of power and things like that, and Jupiter is health. So when we put all these together, and we know that the Bahamas is Cancer, and opposition is like exposing you. You feel me? So it's exposing our healthcare system, which is Jupiter. You know, Jupiter falls in Capricorn, and it's exposing Pluto, the power-hungry games that the government is playing. He will open up. You'll see all restaurants closed except for my friend's restaurant. Yeah. So, and then the opposition to Saturn, the main one, it's directly the government. You feel me? And system, the old system, father times, the people's time, especially when Saturn goes back to Aquarius. We're gonna have Jubilee in a little bit. So I know earlier this year I was referring to Ross Ben when he was saying that this year is the great triple conjunction year and all that. But we finna finish out this year with the great squares, because everything finna be a square in a little bit. And then it's a double dose of squares, especially not just the Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, but mainly to these places like the Bahamas and America. These were the great squares gonna come apart before like December 20th, like 21st. That last week of December, that's when a lot of shit gonna. Mind you too, America is going through a Pluto return. So you know what Saturn return is, matching the Pluto return. It's the year of transformations. I know the Black Lives Matter stuff was like a little stage and all that, but big transformations are taking place. Trust me, because of what happened. Though they probably tried to harness the energy and not get the most out of it because they know it was going to happen anyways. I think a lot of things are going to happen no matter what. So, but if you're smart enough to handle the energy and control it, you can make it go in your favor. On top of all this, Venus is inside of Cancer. When all this rioting stuff started, it was around when Mercury retrograded in Cancer at like 14 degrees or something, and the sun was getting close. You feel me? The sun was in Cancer already, and it was getting close to where Mercury was at. So Venus is gonna be in a perfect square to Mars and all these other, in opposition to Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Capricorn and all that in the middle of September. So I think that Mars is gonna carry over, and Venus is gonna carry over all the emotions that were just there from the Venus retrograde the other day, and what Mercury and the Sun had in Cancer.